First off, let me preface this by saying I'm not trying to be an asshole here. Like, it might come across like I'm trying to be one of those, well, actually type people, but I swear I'm not trying to do that. So last night, right before I went to bed, I was browsing on YouTube and I came across this video from Foot Asylum, Who is the Dumbest, featuring Young Philly, Darkest Man, and Adiola Patron. If you're not familiar, these are all really popular internet personalities from the UK. You might be more familiar with Foot Asylum. They did Does the Shoe Fit? They've done a lot with Chunks in the past, and they often do these like game show type intelligence test videos. They do these a lot because videos with a competitive slant and with an aspect that allows the viewer to play along, i.e. answering the questions alongside the contestants, do really well on YouTube. I decided to give it a quick look and I was absolutely flabbergasted by what I saw. Now let me just say, I know the premise of the video is who is the dumbest. So the idea here is that you're taking 3 unintelligent people and you're giving them an intelligence test, right? And that's a pretty funny concept. But when the first question is what is the square root of 49, and the editor of the video has spelt root R-O-U-T-E, I'm sorry, but what are we doing here? Are you being for real, my guy? To be fair to them, they do get this question right. Philly wrote 7 times 7, which is not technically correct, but you can at least see where he's coming from, so they give him the point. The second question is how many meters in a kilometer? I'm sorry, but as a viewer, I'm looking at this question and I'm thinking, are you serious? One of the appeals of a show like this is that the viewer can play along, right? Like test their own intelligence too. But when these are the questions that are coming up, I can only imagine that the target audience of this video is like 7 years old. Adiola and Darkest get it right, and Philly put 5 for some inexplicable reason. Listen, I don't know what Philly's educational background is, and I'm not here to ridicule him because that's besides the point. There's a deeper underlying theme which I'm about to get to, so bear with me. The answer is revealed to be 1,000, and Adiola celebrates like she won the Nobel Prize.
1,000.
Swear down, man's are smart.
Is this common knowledge?
No hate, but come on. The question was how many meters are in a kilometer? The question might as well have been how many feet are in 10 feet. Next question, what is 1/5 as a decimal? And once again, the editor has lost the plot, writing what is 1/5 of a decimal. What does that even mean?
What is 1/5 as a decimal?
Fam, just write what the guy said. There is no need to take creative liberties. They reveal their answers. Philly wrote 15. The guy literally heard 1 and 5 and put them together. Adiola Patron put 0.5. She needs to wipe her name off that whiteboard. I don't know why she's associating herself with those answers. And Darkest got it right, 0.2. He put an extra 0 at the end, but whatever. Next question, how many degrees in a circle? At this point, it's becoming pretty clear that all these questions are going to be elementary. And now I'm no longer watching the video for fun. I'm watching it out of sheer disbelief. These are grown adults. Philly is 27. Adiola is 28. And I don't accept the excuse that primary school was a long time ago, so you might have just forgotten. These are not complex ideas. These are just things that you pick up by living life on the daily. How many degrees in a circle? Why do you think the Xbox 360 was called that? There weren't 359 previous Xboxes. So they're asking questions about the goddamn temperature.
What's Fahrenheit again? What, that measure heat?
And then reveal answers of 100, 0, and 360 respectively. Now so far, Darkest has gotten every question correct. And even Philly comments on it saying,
Hey, you're kind of smart though.
Now here's the thing, Darkest might actually be very smart, but there is no way to tell that from this video. These questions don't pass as measures of intelligence. Getting them wrong says way more than getting them right does. Now this was just the first round, all based on maths. There was also a spelling round and a general knowledge round in which the answers given for when World War II ended were 1880, 1939, and 2001. And one thing I do want to say is there's nothing wrong with not knowing something, you know? There's nobody that knows everything, and something that might be obvious to one person might not be obvious to somebody else. On top of that, people have different intellectual capacities. You know, some people have learning disabilities, or some people grew up in environments that didn't encourage learning. So when I see someone getting questions wrong on these videos, I can be shocked. I can be flabbergasted. But I can also understand that it might not be their fault. So it's not really about the individuals in the video. The thing I think about the most when I watch these videos is what it signals to the viewers? Do people, and especially the kids watching these videos, come away from them thinking that it's normal to not be able to answer questions that basic at their age? Watching that video made me want to crack out the Nintendo DS and literally load up Dr. Kawashima's brain training just to make sure I still had it. Another thing, in these videos, could they in the very least try harder not to miseducate the viewers? Another video that comes to mind is the Sidemen's Are You Smarter Than a 10-Year-Old? During the spelling segment, the word they need to spell is mischievous. Ethan keeps pronouncing it mischievous, perhaps getting it confused with the word devious.
Mischievous. Mischievous.
You sure it's not mischievous?
Mischievous.
And this creates a problem because whether the Sidemen or the 10-year-old knew how to spell the word or not, they're likely to be thrown off by the incorrect pronunciation they keep hearing. The spellings are then revealed.
KSI has M-I-S-C-H-I-E-V-I-O-U-S.
Sounds about right, I do.
Ava has M-I-S-C-H-E-V-I-O-U-S. The correct answer goes to KSI.
Now here's the thing. KSI got the answer wrong. He spelt mischievous. The only thing is he got it less wrong than the 10-year-old who spelt it mischievous. Now while he's doing all of this song and dance and Vic is trying to bring him back to earth by telling him that he was actually the one responsible for their team getting the point, despite again them spelling the word wrong, nobody corrects them. There's not even like an editing note saying the word was spelt wrong. Like just nothing to let the viewer know that they got it wrong. So someone watching this video might come away from it thinking mischievous is actually spelt that way. A similar thing happens again right after, and funnily enough, it's with the word pronunciation, which Ethan pronounces as pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
After giving them some time, he reads off the 10-year-old spelling.
Ava has P-R-O.
He's changing it!
N-O-U-N-C-I-A-T-I-O-N.
Yeah.
Which is the correct answer.
No, it's not! The reason pronunciation is a good spelling bee word is because it's commonly misspelled because of the word pronounce, which does have an O before the U. He then goes on to ridicule KSI's spelling of the word because his U looks like a V. And all I'm saying is, if you're going to correct somebody, or even worse, if you're going to ridicule somebody else for getting it incorrect, I think you in the very least have a duty to be correct yourself. Now, aside from the comments literally bullying a 10-year-old for being enthusiastic during the filming, there were literally no popular comments pointing out the mistakes in the video. Now, these are just two examples, and ultimately, I'm sounding like a well-actually type guy, and I think you'd be fair to think that. But the reason I'm compelled to talk about this is because I see this online all the time. These quizzes and game shows where the contestants, who are often the biggest personalities on the internet, seem to be so clueless. And sure, it can be great fun to watch, but it makes me question, like, is this an act? Are they pretending? And if they are, do the people watching them know they're pretending? Because when someone actually does do well on one of these videos, you'll see 1,000,001 comments talking about how smart they are. And it's just like, nah, they just know information you're supposed to know as a member of planet Earth. A grown adult, nonetheless. And it's even worse when you consider the stereotype of internet personalities being high school or university dropouts. And it's just like, bro, just because you made it on the internet doesn't mean you don't need basic education. Like, people look up to you. You might not have chosen it, you might not want it, but it is what it is. Maybe when the lights are on and the cameras are pointed at you, it's harder to access your like primary school knowledge. But that doesn't mean it should completely go out of the window. Listen, ultimately, I get that it's fun to laugh at people not knowing obvious things. But past a certain point, it just gets sad.
That is not correct. Because according to the Encyclopedia of